Realities and dimensions. The prime reality, or from our point of view the afterlife, has many parallel worlds. These worlds are not planets spread out in space and time as in the material universe, but rather operate in layers of infinite possibilities. In the prime reality, time and space are perceived as flexible. Existence in these worlds is experienced in a more conscious and creative way. We may affect the flow of time and the form of matter. It's not that time does not exist there, but time can be approached creatively. We may extend time, shrink it, stop it and pause it, and create a time capsule, for example, or a time loop. Our consciousness can manifest as anything and anywhere in the prime reality. We are free to create a form that reflects our vibration and preference. Some prefer to settle in one form, others constantly alter it. Just as in matter, some people don't change their image over their entire lifetime, while others may do so frequently. There is no death in the prime reality. We consciously materialize, transmute, or dematerialize. Beings in the subtle universe can sometimes do this too, especially if they work with their magical and alchemical abilities. Such a being can take the form of another person, animal, plant, or stone, or they can merge with a mountain or river, the air, and even the whole environment. After all, this is what gods and natural beings did in many mythologies. In many ways, the parallel realities can be compared to dimensions. However, when I began to divide worlds into dimensions, densities, numbers, and hierarchies, I realized how much it limited my consciousness. Our brain is trained to separate and analyze. Actually, it reflects those learned limitations of material consciousness and this current matrix, where something is considered lower or higher, better or worse. I will try to explain how I view the subtle reality, the prime reality, and the material reality. Souls incarnate into the material reality through the subtle reality, the prime reality, or directly from the source. The prime reality consists of an infinite number of realms that manifest as planets in the material and subtle universes. Material reality is the reality as we know it, constrained by the current matrix. I use the term current matrix because matrices don't necessarily have to be as low vibrational as this one. Now, the subtle reality, or subtle space, or subtle cosmos, is a reality that is less dense and much less constrained than the material one. In it, souls are born and die consciously, don't age, they do not feel pain, they remain connected to the source and the prime reality throughout their incarnations. They also use their natural abilities of manifestation, telepathy, teleportation, healing, and such. Our planet was and will again be subtle after the fall of the current matrix, so the subtle reality also relates to our ancient past and future. In the subtle reality, one experiences incarnation in a predetermined space and time similar to matter, and we can only partially influence time and space. The prime reality is basically the afterlife. This reality comprises parallel worlds which serve as blueprints for material and subtle realities. Some are collectively created by groups of souls, while others are formed individually. It's sometimes referred to as the afterlife, though it's more likely real life. In contemporary esoteric terminology, it could be likened to the fifth dimension and beyond. Space and time are changeable there and serve as creation tools. The terms density and dimension are often confused or used interchangeably in spiritual circles today. Density, however, refers to how subtle or dense our reality is perceived to be and is often associated with vibrational frequency. On the other hand, dimension pertains to perception of different realms or worlds, encompassing broader or narrower aspects of reality. While in physics, higher density typically implies More material-based forms and lower density suggest more ethereal ones. In spiritual contexts, the terminology can sometimes differ. Higher density beings may refer to beings associated with higher vibrations, despite the apparent contradiction in terms. In the prime reality, we inhabit realms formed by groups of souls, or we create our own realms. In collectively created worlds, we can alter our appearances, but not the environment itself. The content of these worlds remains unchangeable. Only the worlds we've individually crafted allow for such modifications, as their environments are extensions of ourselves. Much like our home reflects our personality, in the prime reality, our personal realm reflects our soul. When beings craft their own worlds, they imbue these with their essence. I once asked my spirit guides how it works if we create nature there. They told me that the spaces we form are indeed reflections of our souls. We imbue everything we fashion there, whether it is a house, a park, a forest, or even a larger area. When we invite kindred souls into our world, they adopt forms of their choosing and materialize variously. However, we can also set the forms of bodies that inhabit our world. For example, we may prefer to host only unicorns. It is also common for groups of souls to form worlds together. According to what my parallel self from the prime reality told me, our greater self remains there even when incarnated into the subtle or material realities. We permeate this current matrix only partially. That's why our loved ones often don't visit us after death. We are always there together in the prime reality. The part or smaller self experiencing certain incarnation just doesn't remember that due to soul amnesia. If the so-called dead contact us or return to us in a new incarnation, there is usually a deeper reason for it, and it is necessary for our current plan. Some souls prefer to reside in worlds created collectively. It's akin to building a home in the material reality. Some create and customize it to their liking, while others prefer to enlist decorators, architects, or seek guidance from others. In matter, we have a given, defined space and time frame, but in the prime reality, such limitations do not exist. We can create anything there because we have access to a higher form of creativity, and our imagination is not bound by anything or anyone. In matter, we can build our dream house or travel around the world only when we have financial resources and time. In prime reality, we need nothing but desire and will. Far more important than realities and parallel realms, however, are soul families. For those who feel a strong bond with a certain being or more beings, it is not so important where they are, but who they are with. In the prime reality, we know how to open portals between worlds we belong to. Some require codes, others are automatically available to us. Everything depends on our origin, vibration, and intention. We could perceive everything that was created in matter as converted copies or reflections of some world from the prime reality. And like all the parallel realms, the elven ones and fairy ones also have many different variants. Sometimes during my inner wanderings, I visit these fairy and elven realms, but I also visit those that seem more earthly to me. There is always lush nature, and cities are built in complete harmony with the landscape though. There are many realms that I have visited, and most of the time I don't even know how to classify them. I often visit different versions of my hometown, Prague. It's no coincidence that the name of the city is derived from the word threshold in Czech. Prague is Praha, and threshold is Prah. That city was built on the territory of ancient thresholds to parallel worlds, and some are still active. One of the few people who has revealed the secrets of Prague publicly was the author Gustav Meyrink, who described the secret history of the city in his short story Invisible Prague. It is said that the city was once founded by 7 monks who came from the heart of the world through the Indian city of Prayagraj, which supposedly also means threshold. The word is obviously similar to Prague. In and around Prague, there are still functional thresholds into parallel worlds, and some people can sense them. When I traveled to these parallel versions of Prague, I perceived the city similarly yet differently. During my inner journeying through the prime reality, I sometimes visit realms that seem to have access to higher, or rather larger dimensions. These realms seem to be composed mainly of light, as there are no real concrete shapes there. Everything seems fluid, luminous, iridescent, and somewhat impressionistic, and the local beings appear as clusters of colors and sparkles of light. Local beings can permeate the microcosm or expand all the way into the cosmos. The beings who created the subtle and material realities probably created them from there. This and much more can be found in my new book called Parallel Worlds, with the subtitle Elven Realms, Inner Earth, and Afterlife Homes.